Jose Ramirez is facing the biggest challenge of his career as he prepares for a high-stakes showdown against Devin Haney on May 2nd. The stakes are high, and trainer Robert Garcia is making it clear that Ramirez needs a complete mindset shift if he hopes to take down the former two-division world champion. Garcia says that to beat Haney, Ramirez needs to bring back that killer mentality that made him one of the most feared fighters in the ring in his prime. This isn't just about boxing skills, it's about a mentality that will help Ramirez unleash his full potential and dominate his opponent in the ring. Garcia has been vocal about Ramirez's need for a return to the aggressive, ruthless fighting style that made him successful in his earlier career. Garcia pointed out that Ramirez didn't look his best in his last fight against Arnold Barboza Jr. in November, where he lost by a 10-round unanimous decision. In that fight, Ramirez struggled to assert himself, and Barboza outboxed him. It was clear that Ramirez didn't display the same intensity that had previously made him a dangerous contender. Garcia emphasized that Haney may not be the most technically gifted boxer, but he is still a formidable opponent who will take advantage of any weakness. However, Garcia believes that Haney is easier to hit than most, which could play right into Ramirez's hands if he adopts the right approach. Garcia made it clear that Ramirez needs to go back to his roots and get back to that aggressive fighting style, the one that saw him overwhelm opponents with power and pressure. Jose needs to go back to doing what he does best, beating the size out of his opponents, Garcia said with a sense of urgency. The trainer is adamant that Ramirez can't afford to repeat the same mistakes he made against Barboza. He needs to come into the fight with a renewed sense of purpose and hunger, ready to take the fight to Haney from the first bell to the last. Garcia believes that Ramirez has the skill set to beat Haney, but it all comes down to mentality. The fighter must approach this bout with the mindset of a predator, not a technician. According to Garcia, Ramirez can't afford to be predictable in the ring. Haney, who has experience fighting high-level competition, will quickly adapt if Ramirez sticks to a single style of fighting. Garcia knows that if Ramirez fights like he did against Barboza, Haney will easily outbox him and take control of the fight. Jose needs to be much better than that. He needs that killer mentality, Garcia stressed. In boxing, the trainer pointed out, it's a constant battle of survival, and you have to act like your opponent is trying to take you down. Ramirez must match that intensity and fight with a relentless drive to win, and that begins with his mental approach. If he can do that, the victory could very well be his. Garcia's warning to Ramirez is clear. Without the killer mentality, he could suffer the same fate as other fighters who faced Haney. One of the biggest criticisms of Haney's fights is that he can be tough to hit and defensively skilled, but he isn't unbeatable. If Ramirez fails to bring the aggressive mindset Garcia is calling for, he could find himself getting outboxed and overwhelmed over 12 rounds, much like Regis Prograis was in his loss to Haney. Garcia knows the formula to beat Haney, and it comes down to power and aggression. Fighters like Ryan Garcia and Jorge Linares have found success against Haney by staying aggressive, landing strong punches, and keeping Haney on the back foot. Garcia believes that Ramirez has the power to hurt Haney, but he needs to identify when Haney is vulnerable and capitalize on those moments. With the right mindset and approach, Ramirez could turn this fight into a career-defining moment. Robert Garcia knows that Ramirez's success against Devin Haney won't just come from raw strength, it's about making smart decisions inside the ring. Ramirez can't afford to be too predictable or slow in his attacks. He must remain unpredictable, using different angles, timing, and feints to break down Haney's defenses. This type of tactical approach is what will keep Haney on his toes, not allowing him to dictate the pace of the fight. The key is for Ramirez to mix things up, making it difficult for Haney to counter or set up his own punches. If Ramirez can master this, he can find the openings to land his heavy shots and keep Haney from controlling the fight. Another important aspect Garcia emphasized is Ramirez's mental toughness. He can't let any setbacks, such as Haney landing a good punch or taking a few rounds, affect his confidence. The mental aspect of boxing is just as crucial as the physical one, and Garcia believes that if Ramirez doubts himself at any point, Haney will exploit it. Ramirez needs to stay calm under pressure, remembering that he's trained for moments like these,